What's going on? It's me, Semi-mong, and today we're going to be going through the new crafting system that's going to be implemented in Crowfall within the next few patches. Now, I haven't really got a release date for it, so I'm not quite sure when it's coming out, but this is all the information on the up-and-coming crafting system that will be released that is going to majorly overhaul the crafting system right now. So currently in the game, you press J, you whip up your crafting UI, and as long as you have the materials, you can craft whatever you want, wherever you want. And that's all going to change. Now, there's three major points that I want to go through that will differ this crafting system to the current one. And honestly, I'm really looking forward to that. Now, the main change is crafting stations. So you can no longer craft wherever you want. You have to go to a crafting station. And as you can see, they've actually turned like the different categories into crafting into different crafting stations. So if you want to craft wood things, you have to go to the woodworking bench, blacksmithing bench, cooking, enchanting. As you can see, all of the examples are here. And secondly, they're splitting up the items you can craft into different tiers, and then furthermore, you have to go to a crafting station that allows that tier. So let me scroll down and give you a bit of an example. You'll have basic, intermediate, and advanced recipes. Basic recipes will be like what the game is now, where you press your crafting menu and you can craft wherever and whatever you want. Doesn't matter if you're out in the open, if you're in a town. Intermediate recipes will require a certain type of crafting station, which within this article they go through some of the examples. You'll be able to find intermediate crafting stations at like your beachheads, your respawn areas and small villages, and then advanced recipes that will require advanced crafting stations will be within the forts and keeps out in the open. So you'll have to go out with your faction, with your guild, and try and capture these forts and keeps so you can craft higher tier recipes. Now, if your guild or if your faction's really lacking behind in that campaign world, you're going to be at a disadvantage because you won't be able to craft the higher tier gear. So it forces battles, it forces fights, and it really much forces like just action and chaos. Like, that's what we really want, and that is the sort of core of the major overhaul, like taking it away from being able to craft wherever you want to putting into stations, splitting up the stations and splitting up the tiers of gear that you can craft depending on whether you're just wanting to craft basic stuff, whether you're wanting to get into crafting, you're say still at your beachhead, your respawn area, and you just want to craft some simple gear. They say here, where is it, that this intermediate section, I don't think it's in this paragraph, is something that you should be able to aim for as a solo player. So if you haven't got a guild, if you haven't got a group of friends to play with, you can still upgrade your gear and have something to work for, because intermediate recipes and crafting stations will be available to you no matter if you're in a guild or not. They'll be at the beachheads, which are the respawn areas of the campaign world, and it's the advanced recipes that you want to group up for and get into a guild, get a like good core group of friends to go over and take out the forts and the keeps that are in the open world environment, and obviously give you access to these higher tier advanced recipes. So there we go. I'm trying to find an example here. As you can imagine, blah 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 blah. Every beachhead will have a limited amount of crafting stations, obviously the beachhead being your respawn area. For more advanced recipes, crafters will have to venture out to forts and keeps which their team or faction may own. So even as a solo player, even if you haven't got a guild, you can go out to potentially a fort or a keep that your faction has got. But the main focus is that you have to work together as a faction to get these forts and keeps to be able to craft these advanced recipes. And as you can see, the crafting UI has also been changed. So it's no longer a case of going to the sword, seeing that you need a grip, a pommel, and like a handle, like trying to like troll through all of the different like drop down menus to find all of this stuff. You'll have one end set piece, it will split up, so there's the blade. Can I zoom in a little bit? Yeah, there we go. So there's the blade. You'll need a weapon blade. To create the weapon blade, you need 3 metal bars. To create a metal bar, you need 3 ore. It is very simple, and I'm really liking the UI. Like, it just makes things easy to look at a glance, rather than, as I said, having to go through every single drop down menu, looking for what you need. That was literally this is the exact example I used. Like, to make the hilt, you'll need the grip, the pommel, and the cross guard. I didn't know where any of these were when I first started playing the game, and for new players it can be really confusing, literally having to click every drop down menu and trying to find the like item that you need. So in general, this overhaul of crafting is going to be amazing. Not only is it gonna really allow just to clean up the UI and split up the crafting into different sections, making it easier to access, but also allow players to progress through it as they wish. If you you can craft basic stuff. If you want to progress, you can get into the intermediate crafting, and if you really want to get good gear and start being like the ultimate player, you can go out, get a core group of friends, and get these advanced recipes. Something to note is that you will have some crafting stations in your Eternal Kingdom, so you can just say, go into a campaign world, stack up some resources in your spirit bank, transfer that all back into your Eternal Kingdom, where you'll be able to craft certain stuff, and then you'll be like sort of set up, ready to go, and at a slight advantage for your next campaign. Guys, if this is something you're looking forward to, be sure to leave that like down below. I want to hear all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you looking forward to this? Do you think we should stick with the old crafting system? As always, thanks for the support, and I shall see you in the next video.